Hello friends, and welcome to Webronaq. Here is a striking fact to open with. The world sends roughly 376 billion emails every day in 2026, across about 4.7 billion users. Email is not dying. It is the backbone of digital communication. Now here is the part that should get your attention. In May 2026, the IETF published RFC 9989, the new DMARCbis standard, formally elevating DMARC from an informal document to a proper internet standard. And Gmail and Microsoft are now issuing permanent 550-level SMTP rejections for any mail server that fails authentication. That means a self-hosted server with missing or broken DNS records gets blocked outright, not routed to spam. In this video, we are going to build a production-ready Linux mail server using Postfix and Dovecot that passes all of those checks from day one. Let's get into it. Alright, before we touch a config file, let's map the full stack so nothing surprises us later. Think of your mail server as two specialists working together. Postfix is the mail transfer agent, the MTA. It speaks SMTP. It receives email arriving on port 25 from the internet, and it sends outbound mail on your behalf. Dovecot is the mail delivery agent, or MDA. It takes the mail Postfix accepted and stores it in a mailbox on disk. Then it serves that mailbox to your email client over IMAP on port 993, or POP3 on port 995. The handoff between the two happens over LMTP, a lightweight protocol that uses a Unix socket on disk, no network port needed. Dovecot also handles one more critical job, SASL authentication. When your email client connects on port 587 to send outbound mail, Postfix asks Dovecot to verify the username and password before relaying anything. One clean pipeline, two focus tools. Let's install them. Now let's install. One of the nicest things about Ubuntu 26.04 is that it ships both Postfix 3.10 and Dovecot 2.4 in its default repositories. No third-party PPA, no manual download. Before running apt, we pre-answer the two prompts Postfix would normally ask during setup. The first sets the mail hostname to mail.example.com, your fully qualified domain name. The second tells Postfix this is an internet site, meaning it both sends and receives mail directly. Then the single apt install command pulls in Postfix, its MySQL adapter for virtual users, and 4 Dovecot packages: core, the IMAP listener, the POP3 listener, and the LMTP daemon that handles the internal handoff. After that, set your system hostname with hostname CTL. Run postconference mail_version and Dovecot --version to confirm both services are up. That FQDN must match your DNSA record exactly. Everything downstream depends on it. Here is the interesting part. Postfix configuration is almost entirely one file, main.cf. Let's walk the key directives. My hostname and my domain tell Postfix its identity. My networks is deliberately narrow, just localhost, so this server cannot be used as an open relay by anyone else. For TLS, we point to Let's Encrypt Certificates. Setting SMTPD_TLS_security_level to May means Postfix will use TLS when the remote server supports it, but will not break delivery if it does not. The SASL block is where Postfix and Dovecot first meet. We set the type to Dovecot and the path to private/auth, which is a Unix socket Dovecot exposes inside the Postfix spool directory. That socket is how Postfix asks Dovecot, is this username and password valid? Finally, virtual_transport points delivery at Dovecot's LMTP socket. Every message Postfix accepts gets handed to Dovecot this way, never stored directly by Postfix. Next we configure that Dovecot side. Let's configure Dovecot. The mail_location directive tells Dovecot to store each user's messages in maildir format, one file per message inside a maildir folder in their home directory. This is the production standard. In the auth config, we disable plain text auth so credentials only travel over TLS, and we enable the plain and login mechanisms which Outlook and Thunderbird both understand. The SSL block mirrors what Postfix uses, same Let's Encrypt certificate paths, TLS 1.2 minimum. Now here is the connection back to Postfix. In the master config we create two Unix sockets. The first, at private/auth, is the SASL handshake point. When a user on port 587 submits mail, Postfix passes the credentials across this socket, and Dovecot replies pass or fail. The second socket, at private/Dovecot LMTP, is the delivery tunnel. Postfix drops accepted messages here, and Dovecot places them into the right maildir. Both sockets are owned by the Postfix user. Restart both services and the pipeline is live. Now we tackle the part that determines whether your mail actually reaches inboxes. You need 6 DNS records, and all of them matter. The A record maps your hostname to your server's IP. The MX record tells the world where to send mail for your domain. The PTR record, also called reverse DNS, maps your IP back to your hostname. Gmail's own analysis from 2025 found that missing PTR records are one of the most common causes of SMTP rejection. Configure it through your hosting provider. The SPF-TXT record lists the IP addresses allowed to send on your domain's behalf. The DKIM-TXT record publishes the public half of a key pair your server uses to cryptographically sign every outbound message. And the DMARC-TXT record, governed since May 2026 by RFC 9989, tells receivers what to do when those checks fail: monitor, quarantine, or reject. Start with P equals quarantine and a reporting address. Without all of these in place, Gmail issues a permanent 550-5.7.26 rejection, and Microsoft returns 555.7.515. These are not soft bounces. Your mail simply never arrives. Alright, let's bring it all together. Your production mail server now has 4 layers: Postfix handling SMTP, Dovecot serving IMAP and POP3, and verifying every login, a full set of DNS records that satisfy RFC 9989 and pass Gmail and Microsoft enforcement, and TLS securing every connection. But running a mail server is not a one-time task. In May 2026, Rocky Linux published RLSA 2026133498, an important Dovecot security update patching denial of service vulnerabilities, CVE 2026278557, and CVE 2026278558. That is exactly the kind of update you need to apply promptly, because an unpatched Dovecot can be crashed by a single crafted connection. Next, add Spam Assassin for content-based spam scoring, and ClamAV for virus scanning. Monitor your sending IP reputation using Google Postmaster tools, and read your DMARC aggregate reports weekly. The key takeaway is this: every layer in this stack exists for a reason. Get the config right, keep it patched, and watch your DNS records. Do that, and your self-hosted mail server earns its place in the inbox. Thanks for watching Webronaq, and see you in the next one.